when I started learning English, I was not able to say just simple sentences.
I could not improvise. I could not come up with stuff like you do right now.
Just dive into it and speak and go ahead.
It's about
Yeah.
addiction versus purpose.
Whenever I am alone at home, I just start speaking English with myself.
Elon Musk is at the
Yeah.
frontier of space exploration because of the fact that he blows up some rockets every week. You're speaking very fluently, very well. And in the short chat that we had yesterday, also, I kind of found out that you're pretty good in speaking English. So you're not struggling at all. I don't believe you. And but like yeah, so when did you start learning English and what did you like about it? What is your motivation of learning it? And what are the challenges that you feel the most formidable ones?
Yeah. So actually, I studied English with some breaks. I cannot say the exact time. Totally, maybe it took me about 1 year. I just started regularly, and it is just 6 months that I am trying to be my best. One thing that I really love about English is just speaking and listening, but I am struggling with the writing, and it is absolutely hard for me. I'll try it better and in a better way. And but in four skills that English language has, I really love uh, speaking section or speaking skill.
You guys make me feel
Yeah.
stupid, man. Can I just finally find someone who has been studying for 2 years and is not able to speak so I can feel a little bit better? Because that was the case with me, right? Like when I was studying English for 2 years, it was like trying and trying. Finish all the books, like Departures, Connection, which was a streamlined system, very beautiful system, but like for some reason I could not speak. Like I went in front of the
Oh.
class and I just mechanically memorized a few sentences that I had written at home, and then I could not speak. Like I was just frozen in front of the class, and I just read those out of memory, read the stuff that I memorized, and I could not like improvise. I could not come up with stuff like you do right now, or any of our guests do. And you guys are like doing it much better than me. Like you're like 6 months, 1 year, something like that, and you're speaking fluently, beautifully. You come up with stuff. You understand very well the questions and everything, and then you come up with some amazing, interesting answers. And as I said, that makes me feel stupid.
No, no, it's not at all like this. You know that as I have experienced, one thing is really matter in the journey of or in the pathway of learning English is just we have to have an specific and particular goal.
Hmm.
That why do I learn English? So because it happened for me that 6 months ago when I started learning English, I was not able to say just simple sentences like I was not able to say I graduated from school 4 years ago. The word graduated itself, I didn't even know about this, and it was hard for me. And the other one is we we should not be afraid of public speaking. We have to dive into it and just speak, no matter how and no matter with who. So the only thing that matter is just speak because it is our second language and we are not native in English. So if you make mistakes, it is absolutely natural and we have to just go ahead and dive into it, and it should be one part of our life. Yeah.
You pointed at two of the most important aspects of the whole process. So, when you talked about having a goal, I kind of remember something that I read about a while ago. So, a while ago, I was reading about some stuff, an article or something somewhere. I can't remember exactly, but it was about addiction. And it said that when we're talking about quitting addiction, for addicts, it's not about addiction versus sobriety. It's about
Yeah.
addiction versus purpose. So the reason that they
Purpose. Yeah.
cannot, yeah, the reason they cannot quit it is because of the fact that they don't have any purpose in life, because it ruins your motivation, your incentive to have a purpose in life. And the moment you can give those people a purpose, doesn't matter how small or big it is, then they can just come back from that. And that's exactly like, I mean, that's not exactly the case, but it's a little bit similar. So if you don't have any goal, if you don't have a specific reason to do something, then you wouldn't have enough incentive to just go for it and to just get better at it, you know?
Absolutely.
But that's
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
I
Absolutely.
100% agree with you. And you should have a goal, either if it's connecting with the world, either if it's like gaining more information and knowledge, if it's reading a book, if it's traveling, if it's seeking asylum, if it's whatever it is, if it's scholarships, which is
Yeah.
one of the
Absolutely.
most noble purposes. I think you talked about trying to get some scholarships or something, right? I think you said that you like to do that. I can't remember it well, but I think you did, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. That as I said that I graduated from school 4 years ago, but because of some financial situations that I had 4 years ago, I couldn't go to university, and I couldn't I couldn't get any scholarship because my English was not good. It was not absolutely good, yeah. And the other one is financial situation. It was adverse and very bad. So, but nowadays I'm trying to get some scholarship, but still I feel that my English is not as good as it should be for the scholarship. That's why I'm trying to enhance my English proficiency as soon as possible, and then maybe looking forward for searching and fighting to get some scholarship. Yeah, and it is one of the most important purpose of myself. That's why I am learning English. That is the only one, because that whenever I feel tired or exhausted, I just remember that why I am learning English, and I just remember the scholarship and the situation. I mean, the hard situation that we have in Afghanistan, and as well as my father, because he is extremely working hard, and that's the case. I have to extremely study hard, and that's versus together to each other.
That's very responsible of you to think that, and I disagree with you not being
Yeah.
good enough. I disagree because you're pretty good. Like right now, you're more than enough for any scholarship, I think. Like there's this certain point, like if this is like the English graph or whatever, there's this certain point in that line where you kind of start to roll a little bit, you know? It's like that little ball of snow that we first like at the beginning it's going to be very hard to just get that snow rolling, but once you've rolled it enough, like small ball, then it's very easy to just roll it around and just make it bigger and bigger.
Yeah, absolutely.
You are way
Yeah,
ahead
it
of
is.
that, way ahead of that stage, and you're at a stage where you can learn from your environment. So to a certain until a certain point, you cannot. Like until a certain point, you have to have like specific words, a specific system, something that you study and learn mechanically, and just get things sorted out in your mind first. But from a certain point on, especially when it comes to speaking, from a certain point on, when you can just speak a little bit, then you become that rolling ball of snow. Then you can just roll around and learn from your environment, from movies, from music, from YouTube, from videos, from short clips, from anybody. When you're speaking to somebody, you learn something. When you're reading a book, you learn something. When you're reading a post, you learn something. So from a point on, it becomes a little bit easier because you become that rolling ball of snow. But before that, it's a little bit difficult. You are way ahead of that stage. And you talked about not caring a lot about perfection, and that's one of the most important points in learning English. I keep emphasizing the fact that, dude, no matter how big of a perfectionist you are, when it comes to learning English, just get out of it. Doesn't work. It
Yeah,
doesn't work. Just get out there, speak. Doesn't matter how many mistakes you make. Doesn't matter how creative you are or are not. Just speak. You have to get it out. You have to spit it out. You have to talk. You have to make mistakes. Then you'll learn. I guarantee you, people who are good in learning in English, like speaking or whatever, they've made tons of mistakes before. They've been the people who have stood in front of the class, made a fool out of themselves, but they've done it.
yeah,
They've gotten out there and they've spoken. So you have to speak. You may make a lot of mistakes. You may mispronounce words. You may just misplace them sometimes. You may not follow the grammatical functions that you have to. You may use the wrong word in the wrong place. You may do a lot of stuff, but at the end of the day, that's how you learn. That's how you get it better every time. And that's what matters at the end of the day. So I would admire anybody who has the courage to just make those mistakes. And then in a few years, that person will be 100 times better than the person who sat back, watched everybody else, even laughed at them or something, but tried to be this
yeah.
perfectionist guy first and then wanted to speak. That then never comes.
Absolutely, absolutely. I do completely agree with you because we should we should not be like this that I have to be like a native speaker or to be perfect and then I just start speaking English. So it's I think absolutely the wrong way of speaking and learning English. Because you know that whatever we know, it's no matter, we have to talk about it or we have to just convey it or express it. It's no matter how weak or strong it is. So the matter is just dive into it and speak and go ahead. You know that one I don't know it is good or bad habit that I have is just I get used to speak with myself like whenever I am alone at home or in my room. I just start speaking English with myself. You know that 2 days ago, my brother told me that, hey man, you're getting crazy nowadays because you're all the time, you're all the time repeating the words with yourself. And I told him that, bro, I have to repeat them. So if I wait to be perfect, and then I just start speaking, so it will never happen, I think. So just again, I have to say that the only thing that matter is just feel free, speak with yourself, with your friend, family, and or maybe in a class. So have we should not be afraid of mistakes, or we should not have fair public speaking. So yeah, I think that's all. That we just go ahead and
Well,
don't care about making mistakes.
exactly. Elon Musk is at the frontier of space exploration because of the fact that he blows up some rockets every week. Cause because he makes a lot of
Absolutely.
mistakes and he learns from them. That's why he's there.
Yeah.
So
And
that's how it
finally,
works with English as well. If you've watched like some of my previous videos, I keep telling everybody how good they are, and I keep telling
yeah,
them that they may not feel it because progress in English may not be as tangible as they think it might have been. Uh, that's why somebody from the outside perspective should make them feel that progress. This is particularly important to me because when I was learning English, I had this. amazing teacher at the very end. Like all of my teachers were pretty good, but like this particular one who didn't even need to teach because he was a translator with Americans and he was getting paid
Oh,
a very high salary. So he didn't need that money from the teaching. But because he loved teaching so much, he had gotten a class and I couldn't find any class for my last book, which was Destination. So everybody said, this guy, he's a very good teacher. He's not around, he has not been around, but he was a teacher before and he's a very experienced and knowledgeable and a very kind person. And he's started a speaking class and you have to go there. And we went there and I fell in love with this guy. Like this guy was like so good. I mean, he was a man back then and I was a kid, but like he was so like he gave me so much motivation at the beginning of that class that I felt obligated to put everything I have every night and just get out there. And even if I'm making a fool out of myself in front of the class, even if I'm making tons of mistakes, even if I'm not understanding the questions that are fired at me by the other students, I'm just gonna go there. I'm just gonna be that first guy who raises his hand to go in front of class and just to speak. And that motivation helped me a lot because I, like everybody else, couldn't feel that progress. I'm not saying that anything that I'd studied before that was not effective because it was effective that I could speak that much in front of that class. So all I'm trying to say is that motivation could be like can be is a very important key aspect of the whole process because of the intangibility of the progress in the whole stage of learning English. The reason I'm saying it's important because a lot of the kids, when they don't feel that much improvement in their English studying, they quit it. And they quit it and then they take a while and they just come back again and they quit it again and they just come back again and they quit it again and come back again. That hurts that hurts the process a lot. So it matters for everybody to know that no matter what you're doing, no matter how much you've learned, no matter how many mistakes you're making, you are improving. Just don't think that you're not improving. Sometimes it's going to be slower, sometimes it's going to be faster. But as long as you're going there, you're going to the class, you're doing something, you're speaking a little bit, you're just coming up with these new vocabularies and words and whatever, you're doing good.